Hello and good evening. Welcome to Wellbeing Thursday. Today we're talking with Inga Deksne, my special guest, who will cover with me the topic of recovering from workaholism or curing workaholism. Welcome, Inga. How are you today?
Hello, Kasha. Thank you for having me. I'm really looking forward to this conversation today.
Excellent. Um, Let me introduce wonderful Inga. Inga has been a part of my life and my online entrepreneurial journey for the past 2 years, I reckon. And it's been absolutely wonderful, and it gets even better. Inga is a Latvian lady living in London. She moved to London over 11 years ago.
13, yeah.
So she knows how it is to operate, living in a foreign country, and how to start again from scratch and to build business on a foreign territory. What else? Inga has created a very unique brand, the brand High Impact Happiness. Because she loves working with businesses who create huge impact in the world, and she wants them to be happy while running their business, just like I do. She teaches women like me how to navigate in the sphere of social media, the e-marketing. How to implement the latest social media tools in order to leverage your business, pretty much. Um, she also, she whatever she does, it's really aligned with the personality. So it's a very individual approach. And as a part of her brand, she runs amazing events. So you can see magicalcreators.live. It's the next coming event, which is going to be in October. I have signed up already, and I'm looking forward, because those events bring a lot of different knowledge, different angles, and different entrepreneurs who share a lot of very useful knowledge that only elevates you. So I highly recommend it. What else? Inga is the founder of Magical Creators, which is the community of magical entrepreneurs with special powers, let's say.
Exactly, yes.
And I cannot recommend it enough. And I'm so glad that you accepted my invitation, and we are here tonight, and we will be talking about topic that is extremely important, about workaholism, about the fact when you love your job too much, to the extent that you forget that there are all the other aspects to our life. I've been there, so this topic is close to my heart. And instead of talking of my experience, I wanted you to share yours, because I know you are very to the point. So you will probably share with us amazing techniques and amazing things that you've just implemented. And obviously, I just want to hear how was it for you, and knowing you probably have amazing results. So so let's start from the first question. How do I recognize I am a workaholic? What does it mean? Usually people don't really know.
Mm.
How was it for you? When did you realize that you are a workaholic?
Um, I was using the term workaholic as more like a badge of honor, saying, "Hi, I'm Inga, I'm workaholic," because I loved working, as you said, and I loved working a lot. But today, when I was tuning into this conversations that we was going to have in the morning, I started going back, trying to remember when my workaholism started, so to speak. And I realized that it was never about, oh, I love working so much. It started actually when I was 21, and I had my first baby. I was at the uni, and it was completely new life for me. It wasn't planned, it was unexpected. And 3 years later, I had another baby also. So I learned how to combine baby, and I still went to the uni. Then I had two babies, and when I had my son, not only I was attending uni, I was also working, because I found out that I was pregnant 2 weeks after I was accepted for a new role, and it was wonderful, wonderful work. I got my driving license while I was pregnant, so I passed my test, and it was like wonderful experience. And I didn't have any maternity leave. So I called my boss saying, when you expect me to be at work? And he said, yesterday. And I said, okay, I'm there. So, and I was combining, I was still breastfeeding. I was combining, plus I was doing my Master's of Business Administration as well. So for me, it wasn't like workaholism, it was a way of living, multitasking. And then when my kids were 5 and 3 years old, I left my ex-husband, and I had to find second job in order to match the income. And so this is how I rolled all my life, right? So it was very natural. I didn't call myself workaholic back then, even though I worked a lot. I still had life. Like, I met my friends, we had parties. It was amazing. So when I moved to London and I started dreaming of having my own business, I started combining again my day job, and I was doing my business in the morning. I was waking up at 5 o'clock, did work for my business, went to work, came back, did work for my business. I used all bank holidays. I loved bank holidays because it meant I have more time for my business. And when I finally left my corporate job, I continued working in the same regime, right? You would think I have more time for my business, but I learned how to exist on working on 10, 12 hours a day, and I continued. And
Inga, please forgive me. I'll be right back. Give me 2 seconds.
okay,
Just need to
I
leave
can,
you, but you can continue, all right? I'll be right back. Thank you.
I will run the show alone while Katarzyna is away. And so, yes, this is, it never felt like workaholism was something bad. I really loved my work, and I think I expected it as necessary sacrifice. I was very determined. It wasn't about I'm working too much. I had my goal. I had my goals that I wanted to run my business on full-time basis. So that's why I spent all this time in order to build my business, combining with my work. Plus, my work was quite kind of demanding as well. So I spent long hours during the daytime. And I think this acceptance of working hard, that that was normal. It was second nature for me. So that's why in the beginning I was oblivious to the fact that I had workaholism. I did use that term, but I used that as a badge of honor, as I mentioned before. And it's only recently, and I think it's also since we started working with you, I started reconsidering that maybe it's not that it's not fun anymore, but maybe it has its dark sides in terms that it impacts my well-being as such. And the funny thing, I wanted to wait till you come back to share this story, right? So when I started working on a full-time basis, continue working long hours, But now I cut off the commuting time, walking around. So, and I spent a lot of time sitting. And so since I started my own business on full-time basis, I put on 20 kilos without noticing it. Like normal people would go to the gym or start doing something. I was oblivious to the fact that I'm putting on weight. Like my clothes became smaller, and I thought, oh, it's probably bad washing machines and they're shrinking, right? Not that I'm expanding, my clothes were shrinking, and I was just buying a size bigger. And it's only, it's only probably a couple of years ago, well, not couple of years, 4 years ago, when I realized, oh my God, I am I have put on so much weight. And it was because of the stress, and it was because I was sitting all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So, and this is downside of workaholism. Another part when I notice when I work too much is when my wrists started hurting from the mouse and computer. And in the past, the only way how I stopped, I was getting ill. Nothing serious, but for me, it was a sure sign that my body wanted to rest, and it was the only way how I would stop. And I decided that maybe it's too drastic. And because of everything that is happening right now, like what started happening with pandemic, when I realized if I get seriously ill, chances to get on time to the doctors, because everyone is so busy, everything is on high alert, I better look after myself and don't get ill. And touch wood, I managed all these 18 months. I even didn't have a cold. So touch wood. So, and it's only because I started realizing that if I want to live till my 90s, I need to slow down and look after myself properly. And I think I was influenced by you as well, because you were talking about well-being, and you were saying how dangerous it is to start your day with looking at your mobile phone. And I thought, what she's talking about? This is how I wake up. In order, that you're not sleepy, you look at your phone, and you are back into working mode straight away.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it is amazing, and I'm so glad you're sharing it, because there's so many other people that go through it, and the only difference is they do not connect those dots. They do not have this awareness. They do not do anything about it. So they just let it be, and what's even worse, they become bitter. And it's then just like a downward spiral. Okay, so you've mentioned that workaholism affected your life in a pretty much negative way. You had health consequences, deterioration of your health, weight gain, pains. And how is it now? How is your relationship with your work now? I know you're very passionate about your projects and you deliver them in an amazing way. And how is your relationship with how you do it?
Yes, you mentioned before a very important aspect, which is self-awareness, right? It's about being honest with yourself and seeing like what is hiding behind working a lot, because it's imbalance in your life. If something is too much, it means somewhere else is too little. And this is what I've realized, that sometimes I use work to escape looking at areas of my life, like relationships, to ignore them and not to do it, because I had an excuse. I don't have time. That's why I'm single.
It's very convenient.
I don't have time, right? I probably I want to, but I'm busy. So this was one. Then when I decided that I want to look after myself and health-wise, I realized that working too much, computer, sitting, this is what works against me. And so the first step is self-awareness, being honest with yourself, and then decide what you want to have instead. You mentioned in the description about recovering from workaholism. And again, one of your comments before when we exchanged messages made me realize that it probably, you don't recover from workaholism as such. If you have the opportunity, you will work, right? That's why you need to be self-aware, and you need to be disciplined, and you need to create an environment that doesn't allow you, or doesn't make it easy to be a workaholic, so to speak. And for me, what works is making a list, right? I divide my day into 30 minutes, like from 9 till 9, for instance, but I also include walks, eating time, and so on. And I've noticed on the days when I don't do the list, my day become disjointed and disorganized. It's as if, chaos lurking in the shadow, waiting for me to sleep. And so this helped me. Then I also introduced Friday computer free, work free. In the beginning, it was really, really hard. It felt unnatural. It felt irresponsible. I have so many projects to do. Why I take a day off? And I've done it only for 1 month. And I think you put somewhere an article, you shared the article as well about reset day. So basically, I think without knowing, I created a reset day for me. But it's a struggle. Like tomorrow is Friday. I need to take day off. I have 7 videos that I need to edit. And for me, it's like part of me says, you don't have time to waste for the relaxing. You need to finish those videos. Part of me knows that in order for me to finish those videos, I need to slow down. And so it's constant, dialogue with myself, just reminding that it's a long-term game, working like that and living like that.
Right. So how does your Friday work? Is it, because you mentioned it's computer free, does it mean like, you jump onto the other screen like your mobile or iPad?
Yeah, I use still mobile, because I will tell you why I'm not putting my mobile away. Because I am using Fridays for mini trips. And I need to use Google Maps in order to find, because I usually go to the places I've never been, plus I take photos, right? And I engage with social media, but it's usually not work related. I'm making an exception tomorrow. I usually wouldn't do it, but it's a brand new, it's not a client, but it's a referral. And that's why I'm going to make an exception tomorrow for half an hour. We will have a conversation. But other than that, it's, and also it's very important, because first Friday, or one of the Fridays, I spent watching TV series. It's very important not to spend it like indoors and lying around or sitting, right? It needs to be something opposite what I've done for 4 days. And I'm very conscious about it, because otherwise there is no point. It's just changing voices, right? From computer to TV. So I'm very mindful about this day. I think I created this day as a pocket of new experiences. I might paint. When I say paint, I'm doing paint by numbers, right? It's my first stages of learning how to paint. But it's something new. It's either to visit and places I've never been to, or just just walk around.
And you've mentioned you've been doing it for 1 month. And at the beginning was feeling very strange and difficult. What did you notice after the first month? Did you get any benefits of it, or more of struggles than benefits?
No, it was because it opened up me for more creativity. So taking one day off from work, in the beginning, I had to fight as well all the ideas. They came flooding straight away, but I didn't want to work through them. So now Saturdays, Sundays especially, is my creativity hub. Like 2 days, Friday, Saturday, when I try not to work. On Sunday, it's a floodgates of ideas. It's so much creativity. I just need to have time to write everything down. So I found it very, very beneficial. I lost almost 4 kilos this month as well because I was walking a lot. I was also like eliminating gluten and dairy, and it was also experiment as well.
Mhm.
So yeah, so I think I will continue with this one day off for sure.
Mhm. Okay, perfect, perfect. Congratulations. Yeah, that sounds extremely inspiring. So, Inga, what would be your personal advice to people who are wondering, like, wow, okay, I think, my situation is similar. I might be workaholic and I don't know where to start.
Um, First, maybe start with observation, like looking where you spend your time. Because I also noticed that some of my time I spent not just working, but maybe, watching YouTube videos. And it feels like you worked a lot, but if you look on at productivity level,
Mhm.
it may be only 50%. So it's just about observation in the beginning without judgment.
Mhm.
So, and then the next step is what you want to have instead, and start with small steps. So it's not a huge, big change because we get overwhelmed with the change, but just incremental changes. For instance, for me, deciding that I'm doing Fridays off only for 1 month uh, felt doable and wasn't dangerous. I didn't say this is it for the rest of my life. Fridays are off. Knowing that I can change my mind anytime helped. So
Mm.
this would be my recommendation, and find your ways. Like you can watch videos or read books and all the recommendations, right? But find what would work for you because we are all individual. And if somebody says wake up at 5 o'clock and it just doesn't float your boat, there is no point.
Yeah, definitely. It's the same like with basically starting from small steps, like people who say they don't have time to exercise. The recommendation is to just start from 7 minutes a day, and then you get hooked, and then you just continue, and you increase it because you see the benefits and you see how good it feels. And I guess this is exactly the same thing here. Good, excellent. That's very, very inspirational, Inga. So Friday is tomorrow. Do you have a special day, this special place that you're going to discover?
Not. I have planned it for Sunday. However, because we've just finished refurbishment work in my bathroom, I will be putting all stuff back, doing a little bit of decluttering, and also trying to understand like the whole concept of upgrading my life. So this is a new what I'm going to focus on tomorrow.
So you start from the bathroom
Well,
and
I didn't,
analogy to
I
your
didn't
life.
plan, I didn't plan to do any refurbishment work. It was like emergency case, and it just seeing how it looks right now made me want to change across my life, right?
Mm,
So it inspired me to reconsider how I live and how I want to things to be around me.
mm. That's another a good inspiration from tonight's talk. Excellent, good. Inga, I also want to take this opportunity to for you to share brief information about the upcoming event. I guess it's the best if you introduce it. I can obviously share my experience from the past events, but it's a good place to mention, like, who is it for, why people should join it, and what's going to be happening in October.
Sure. By the way, it will be different than your experience before.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, so it's called Abundance Accelerator Bootcamp. And previously, Magical Creators Live were for intuitive and spiritual entrepreneurs who want to up-level their business. This bootcamp is both for entrepreneurs or for people, right? For people who want to increase the abundance level from holistic approach, right? So it will be strategies like practical tips, it will be energy work and mindset work. So these three elements remain unchanged. But you don't need to have a business to benefit from attending this event. And it will be like a boot camp. We will have a session with speakers. We have 11 speakers. A session with the speakers, and then it will be a Q&A session with the speaker, networking 10 minutes, and then next speaker. So it's 4 speakers a day. I think it's 12 speakers, not 11. Yeah, 12 speakers. And it will be in bootcamp regime. And so you apply practically what you learned during those 3 days. And it's like abundance, it's monetary abundance, but it's also how to be aligned from inside out in order to create wealth in your life. So
Excellent. So it's gonna be 3 days for speakers, so basically like a half day each day.
yeah, so it's from 2 till 6 p.m. Always a period of 3 days. And it will be recorded, so if you miss any of the sessions, it's fine. But it will be, it's new format. I've never done it before, and as I said, it's not exclusively for business owners this time.
All right, that's I love to see that because yes, all of the events, I think like everyone is different. We have Alicia with us. Good afternoon, Alicia. Good. So, Alicia, do we have any questions? Any further questions for Inga for around the topic of workaholism? If you have any questions for those who are watching live, we can discuss it here. If you are watching replay, thank you for watching, and you can also put a comment underneath the video whenever you're watching it.
I have like a final thought while we are waiting for questions, right? Even though like workaholism is kind of like has a bad connotation, but you need to evaluate in terms, maybe somebody looking at your life thinks that you're a workaholic. But if it works for you, you feel great and you are healthy, keep being workaholic. It's just being honest with yourself. If it doesn't work for you anymore, then reconsider. I was happy workaholic for a long time without knowing that I'm a workaholic. But just see whether pluses are more than minuses.
Yeah, definitely. It reminds me of another addiction, of another behavioral addiction, which is the internet addiction. That's I've been researching, and basically, we are talking about behavioral addiction when your behavior in one area, so be it internet, being work, being shopping, shopaholism, right, being alcohol, being gambling, any form of these addictions, is negatively impacting your life to the extent that you cannot function normally, like you cannot just continue your normal functioning your normal life on a daily basis. So then we know this is a problem. So if with work, usually probably you will notice that it's impacting, your relationships with others, or maybe your health, just like you mentioned. So that's, I think, a good indicator, and a good time to look closer into what's happening. Beautiful, excellent. So Inga, thank you so much for joining me tonight. Thank you for your time. I'm glad we had a chance to discuss it, and your approach and your techniques. And I cannot recommend enough Inga's community. So have a look, and check out the event. We'll see you there.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Inga.